Hello. Okay, we'll go straight in with our root today. Okay, it is this exper. Okay, so this comes from two bits of Latin that have been merged together. So you'd recognise the X there, which means out of. So you've got the X and then we've got per. So the per actually comes from the Latin peritus, meaning tested. Okay, from Proto-European, per meaning to try or to test. So you've actually almost got to try out, okay, or to test out. So all the words that you'll see today have the exper in it, and it's all to do with kind of trying something or testing something. So we'll have a look at our word grid. I'll pop it straight up, but I do want to just point out that this I here, I've popped it in as a separate column. It isn't actually a morpheme in itself because it has no meaning. Okay, so it's there as what's called like a zero phone. It's like a placeholder because it's needed to merge the words together. So I'll pop it up against the screen and you can pause the video. Okay, so let's just see what words we have got there. So you can see here that we have got in as a prefix that can be added to the exper there for that. And then we've got the I going into experience or experiment. Okay, and then you've got the words going on from there. And we have got expert down here, which obviously is somebody that has become very, very good at trying and testing out that thing. Okay, so the expert makes the noun of somebody that does that, and then we've got expertise and expertly. So we'll go over to the word sums. So like I said there, we've got expert, expertly. Again, that T has no actual meaning, although it does make that into the noun. It's more just joining those words together. Okay, so we've got expertly. We have got experience. Okay, experience there. So obviously that is like you have that experience of doing something. Then we have got experimental. So if you do an experiment and it is experimental, that is the adjective to describe it. Experimental. Experimentation, if you're trying it, and we've got that shun there, drop that E for the ION and you get that shun ending, and it's a T for the shun because we've got the 8 there. Experimentation. Okay, again, talked about this bit before with in meaning not. So inexperienced means you're not very experienced, so you haven't had lots of times of trying and testing it. So inexperienced, again the enst and the ed for the past tense. We've got that E there that gets crossed out and the past tense ed tacked on there. And then this one at the end is the really tricky one. And you might think this kind of goes against all the rules that I've taught you, but that's because the English language, we can have rules for lots of them. There's always going to be something that goes against the rules. It's a really difficult language to learn, but there is a reason for it. So we've got experiential, and you talk about something being experiential, as in like a feeling maybe. So it's to do with your experiences. But you can see here, the experience obviously has the C, but experiential, we end up with the T, which kind of goes against all the rules I've taught you about knowing whether it's a C or a T and looking at your word that comes before. But the reason is actually the experience actually used to be experiente from the Latin. The Latin had a T. So when it went to French, the T changed to a C. That came to English as a C. But the original Latin was a T, which is why we still get the T here for experiential. So the original, going back to that original Latin root, it was a T. It only became a C when it went into French. So that is a real tricky one, but it's all to do with the etymology and that history of where the words come from, about why we've got those letters. So you have got experiential there. Okay, so the words that you're going to mainly use are going to be experience and experiment. So I want you to write a couple of sentences with one of those words. And if you can use some of those longer words and making sure you get those spelling rules in, then top marks to you for that as well. Okay, thanks for that, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.